handwriting reveal emotional patterns like fear or things like that, or low confidence, or if somebody is going through emotional depression? Can you elaborate on this a bit more?
And yes, writing itself is a cognitive process which is connected to your brain and your hand. Handwriting is also called as mind writing. When you write the stroke, there are certain messages that is going through your neural pathways to your brain, and there what happens is certain chemicals are released, as a result of which whatever you're writing on the paper, your personality comes on the paper there.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dialogues with Dr. Gargi. Today, I am here to present you a story of transformation, a story of resilience and power of a woman. Today, we will talk about a very unique area which is known as graphotherapy. But before everything, I am so glad to have my friend Kirti Sushant Pai today with me. And this is the story of Kirti. When a woman thinks that she wants to do something, she does it. Her transformation from being a housewife to becoming today a specialist as a handwriting analysis specialist, that's the story that we will be learning with Kirti and going through this journey. So before we get into the conversation, I would take the privilege to introduce my friend. So Kirti Sushant Pai is a graphologist. She specializes in handwriting analysis. She works with people to help them understand themselves better through their handwriting. She especially enjoys working with children, and she believes that small changes in writing can create powerful shifts in the way we think, feel, and grow. Hi, Kirti. Welcome to the podcast, and thank you so much for accepting my invite today. It is a pleasure and honor for me to host you on Dialogues with Dr. Gargi.
Thank you so much, Gagi, for having me here in your podcast. I'm truly blessed, I feel. Thank you so much.
So, Kirti, it's a very interesting area that we will be talking about. But going into the subject before that, even, I want to ask you a very one intuitive question, which is I'm curious, like, what made you first believe that you want to become a professional and you will choose this handwriting analysis as your field? That is something which always triggers my mind. So, would you like to share about it?
Yeah, a little bit of my background, Gagi. I'm a science graduate and chose to be a homemaker, happily married, and with an amazing son. Okay, and the shift came when he left for his higher studies, and that's when I felt the void. All these type of work I used to do all these 25 years, I felt that there was nothing to do. So I hopped into a workshop out of curiosity, which was all about handwriting analysis. It was a two-day workshop, and just out of curiosity, I went into the workshop, and I was zapped to see before even entering, for me, handwriting was just like scribbling on the paper, or it was more about beautiful writing. Okay, so I used to tell my son also, write beautifully, and I never expected that handwriting had so much of an inner world to your personality. And this two-day workshop opened so many amazing insights to me that I just really fell in love with the science. So I'm really grateful to my mentor, Mr. Imran Beg, who introduced me to this beautiful science of handwriting analysis.
Okay, I think that's very interesting. Great to know. I mean, how you found your passion, and probably accidentally, if I may say. And today you have become a specialist in the field, and you help other people. So, as we talk about handwriting analysis, again, as you said, for me, it's also, I think, for many of us, is just scribbling on a paper with a pen or pencil. So I'm just curious to know that how can handwriting reveal emotional patterns like fear or things like that, or low confidence, or if somebody is going through emotional depression? Because I just remember the chat we had when you were telling me that, Gargi, really we can do all these things, we can understand. So can you elaborate on this a bit more?
Yes. See, actually, as you said, even when I started my journey, I was in the same feeling that handwriting is nothing but scribbling on a piece of paper, or it must be beautiful handwriting. Okay, but then I got to know how much it is connected to your mind. Okay, so handwriting itself is a cognitive process which is connected to your brain and your hand. Okay, it brings in a lot of focusing ability, your creativity improves in that, and your retention power also improves. But what happens here is, has been most of the lay person does not know about it, that handwriting is also called as mind writing. Okay, because when you write on the paper, it is your mind that is writing. There are certain impulses when you write the stroke. There are certain messages that is going through your neural pathways to your brain, and there what happens is certain chemicals are released, as a result of which whatever you're writing on the paper, your personality comes on the paper there. So that's when we get to know your habits, your behavior, your emotional pattern, etc.
I think that is very interesting. And of course, if I may add, I can completely understand it is a science backed endeavor, because, as you rightly said, it increases our cognition. So, as far as my knowledge goes, because I have been, I read a lot, as you know. So, something I think when it comes to cognition, it's more about the new neural sparks that could be generated, and that's how we can get into new habits, or things like that. So probably handwriting is one of the easiest way. I mean, if I may put it like that, this is one of the easiest way that somebody can just try things out and see how it is working in a more positive way for them. So I think it's really, really interesting, and thank you for sharing that. So Kirti, having said all these things, um, what exactly you mean by analysis? Is this like the person's personality comes up through the handwriting, or is it like more of the emotional perspective? What exactly do you analyze when we mention this word, even handwriting analysis? I would be very interested to know from you.
Yeah, definitely. I will just break it up for you. See, handwriting analysis is basically a process of decoding your personality. Okay, so what is a personality? Going back to my homemaking abilities, like when I'm talking about a cooking part of it. Okay, it's like you're preparing a dish. So when you're preparing a dish, the final result is called as the personality. Okay, and whatever ingredients you add to make up that dish, those are called as traits. So a human personality is made by different traits. Okay, maybe in emotions, maybe in behavior, maybe in habits. So we call it these as traits. So what happens is, it's, as I told you, my handwriting is connected directly to your mind. Okay, so for a lay person, this looks like just alphabets. Okay, but for an analyst, it is a combination of strokes that are forming these alphabets. Okay, and these give you tons of information about that particular person. And that's when we get to know why that person reacts the way he reacts, or she reacts, or how he behaves, what are their emotional traumas. All these things we get to know by handwriting.
Okay, that's something which is very interesting, and I would say I mean unique. So does it also help in terms of, okay, so say for example, I write something and you come to know some attributes of mine, and say probably it is something which is not very good attribute. So is there a process? I mean, okay, now you say that you have analyzed, okay, Gargi, this is something X thing you have which is not good for you, I know, but then what is the next step? How can I, get rid or probably improve that part of mine which is not good? So is there a process there as well with which we I mean, using handwriting, is there something like that?
Yes. See,
Oh.
actually, it's a wonderful process and a beautiful question you've asked. See, handwriting analysis itself gives you an awareness. So we are not all these while, whatever personality we have built, it is all because of our conditional outer conditions, our environment, our circumstances, our core beliefs which we have, or limiting beliefs, I would say. When we were born, we were not been given any kind of a belief system or any kind of a personality. It has developed over the years. Okay, so what we do is, handwriting analysis gives you that self-awareness of what are your strengths, what are your relations, what are the areas which you need to improve, how you think while taking some decisions. All these things we give you through handwriting analysis. So now there are some areas which we tell you is holding you back from moving forward in life. Those are called as areas to improve. Okay, so that's when we give them the awareness. So the next step we take them to is graphotherapy. Okay, graphotherapy means we give them certain patterns and we give them certain letters which they have to write it in certain way with repetitions. So brain understands repetitions. The more you repeat the patterns, you will be having those kind of traits in your personality. So over a period of time, with a lot of practice, you will be able to achieve this particular trait in your personality.
So basically, if there is something which is not a good trait for me, I can, with the patterns and the protocols that would be provided through the process, I can actually make shift from a little bit of negative thing to towards a more positive, rather improve myself. Is it something? I mean, can I put that forward like that?
Yes, absolutely. See, we do have researches have also been made just by moving your index finger in a certain way. There is certain kind of part of your brain getting stimulated, and as a result of which a chemical also is released. Okay, and this proves that handwriting analysis is a science. It's a behavioral science, wherein there are quite a few evidences that has given you these signs to be authentic. So just by, and even I give handwriting analysis to people, they can relate to those analysis. So you're absolutely right. Just by moving the fingers in certain directions, and with repetitions and with consistency, you will be able to get these traits in your personality.
So, Kirti, how many people have you helped till date? If I just ask you to give you a number, maybe.
Oh, so I think I'm blessed to have at least 350 people and 25 kids
Wow.
in my.
That's amazing. That's an amazing number. And to add on, to for everybody, I would like to say that I am one of the 350 inside that, and it was crazy when first you analyzed. I came to your house and we just chatted, and you just gave me something to write, and I would really say that 95% things were correct, and that too, I'm not trying to exaggerate here today because she is my friend. I mean, we're good friends now, but that was the day we met for the first time in our life. She never even have seen me ever before that. So honestly, it surprised me a lot. So, and thank you for that, because I think that gave me the spark that this could be such a powerful exercise. Because when it comes to improvement, we keep talking a lot, right? I mean, do this, do that, walk this, that, but I think this is the simplest thing a person can do, understanding the handwriting and taking the process forward. So, Kirti, since you know that I'm from a science and medical background, always those kind of things runs in my mind. Um, I understood that we can understand the personality, the traits, like as you said, we can also improve and learning different patterns, like you were mentioning. So, is like you say that it is therapy. So, for example, if someone feels emotionally sick, or say something like, mentally blocked, or even if it is a kind of a pathological condition like any chronic disease, like normal ones, the not sorry, not the normal ones, but the common ones, that is hypertension or diabetes. How is the scenario of therapy here? Um, I am asking you with a pinch of salt as well, because you can understand from where I come. So, can you enlighten us in this aspect?
Yes, definitely. See, Gargi, now, as I told you, handwriting is all about your brain writing. Okay, it's all coming from your mind. What we say as a handwriting analyst is, if you empower your mind, any disease that has come to you, okay, can be taken care of. Okay, and but you have to be prepared for that. Some people just give up on it. For example, people who are having BP for a very long period of time, people who are very diabetic, they just give up on themselves, saying that nothing can be done, and they have already lost their battle here in the brain. Okay, when they've lost their battle up, it becomes slightly a challenging process. It might take a longer process. But what could better, I have come across my clients who was suffering from cancer, and she was undergoing chemotherapy for a long period of time, as a result of which she stopped interacting with people. In fact, she was very outgoing. She stopped making friends. and she used to recite Bhagavad Gita to kids. So that was her journey when I had actually known her as a friend. But when she came across this cancer thing, and she was under chemotherapy, she was completely down, and she happened to know that something, like, she had already given up on her life. And doctor had also told her that, this is going to be her lifestyle henceforth. And she came up to me and she said, what are you doing? So I explained it to her, and she joined my graphotherapy process. In 6 months, so many changes came into her. More than chemotherapy, I think that inner strength what she had, she started building that. She went, approached people, she started having friends, she started having her classes again. And just a year back, she comes back and she tells me that my chemo injections have stopped completely and have come on tablets.
Amazing.
That was the result she has created by continuously practicing graphotherapy. So I don't think so there is any other result, like, BP, sugar is nothing in comparatively to this particular challenge which this lady was facing. And I do have a couple of more things also regarding skin diseases. One lady who was suffering from skin rashes, big patches on her legs, quite a big patch, dark patch. Just by practicing graphotherapy, she has sent me pictures saying that my rashes have gone completely, like, it's paled out completely, and it has reduced to a drastic extent. I was zapped to see that. So we do not promise them that you're this ailment or that ailment. Doctors are giving their best, they are doing their best. We, as a handwriting analyst, we work on your mind, and we try to give our best from our end. So people create results, and the science works, and that's how we give validations also.
Fantastic. I think thank you for sharing these, you know, the experiences that you have had with people, because, of course, like you as an expert, you will always like to put forward your best, but it's only the people when they come back and tell, that's where we all get validation. Like in our profession, in your profession, it's always when people come back and talk about the benefits they got, the results they got, that is where our confidence and validation also comes. So, so having said that, Kirti, would you like to share that if, like you said, you gave therapies to these people, or worked with these people. So, if somebody wants to take your sessions, what is the best way to get connected to you?
Yeah, they can just get in touch with me on my Insta, and yes, and they can send me a message, and I will get it revert back to them.
Okay, so would you like to share your Insta
Yeah,
handle? Yeah.
Kirti 182326 is my Instagram handle. So they can connect me on my Insta, and definitely I'll get back to them on WhatsApp message.
Okay, so I think it was a very, very interesting conversation today. Before we conclude, any message that you want to give to the world through your specialty or you as a person, because the transformation you have gone through, that is amazing, and I think it's going to inspire many, many women out there.
The best message I can give to my audience is a healthy mind cannot have a diseased body, is what I want to say, because everything comes first in your mind and then it gets into your body. So please have a healthy mind so that we can avoid the diseases in our body also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kirti. It was fantastic talking with you today, and I think we will have more conversation in the future, because I think this is an area where one conversation cannot cover. So, thank you so much once again, and it's always so good to a good feeling for me to be connected with you all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on this podcast, Gargi. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.